/TL for teaching and learning. We have home resources for parents, and we have all of those resources assigned to grades and content areas. Now, I think it's essential that as we prioritize seniors and then kids in AP, IB, and dual enrollment, and then students in grades 9 through 11, then we get down to pre-K through 8. And we're in the spot right now where we just launched our remote learning with pre-K through 8. Some of that is online if students have devices and access to a safe internet connection. And you're probably seeing us do more making copies of the learning materials and sending those out to families. So we are in full operation of what we call remote learning. I think we're getting better at it each day. Some of our families are asking, are you going to get the one-to-one trickling down to lower grades in pre-K through 8? And the families will probably see us begin to distribute devices to those families in need at 7th and 8th grade. But we've been working on a safe way to distribute these devices so we keep students and staff safe. So that's a little bit of a nutshell about the teaching and learning part.
Thanks. That's a great report, Pete. It seems like in a traditional student-teacher environment, the teacher has the advantage of being able to lay eyes on a student every day, and they can tell if the student is checked out or participating or whatnot. It seems a little bit more of a challenge to do that remotely, and we're going to need to engage parents as teaching assistants, maybe to a larger extent than you do in the traditional environment. What's the best way for a parent to interact with the faculty and the administration at Mesa Public Schools? Is email the right approach, or any advice for parents that might be looking for a little hand-holding or a way to connect with the faculty at the school?
Excellent question, Mayor. We have asked all of our teachers over the course of the last several weeks, and an expectation of continuing that with our families is to email, phone call. Our teachers are using WebEx, which is our platform for virtual communications, emails. All of those features, I think we need to have access to. We need to provide those to parents, because everybody's needs under these unusual circumstances may be a little different. So it may be text messaging, it may be emails, it may be WebExing, phone calls, all of those things. And our teachers are attempting to deploy all of those resources as well.
Great. And obviously, Mesa Public Schools has played a huge role in providing a food service during this period of time as well. I know you've had all of your, to this point, all of your elementary schools have been providing breakfast and lunch for anyone under 18 years old that shows up. I know you're making some adjustments to that program. Can you help share those changes with us, please?
Absolutely. First of all, Mayor, I would like to say that our food and nutrition department, they have been heroes regarding this effort. They have a passion for feeding our students. They've made it a priority. We dove right into the deep end when this closure started, and we served meals at every one of our elementary schools, probably for the first 3 weeks. And we served meals every day. Food and nutrition was out there, district security, principals, and really working as a team to do that. But it has taken a toll over a period of time, Mayor, from the standpoint of we're finding that we're having a little bit of a dwindling workforce because of legitimate concerns about health and safety, about their families. Some of our workers are in risk categories, that are part of the concern of the coronavirus. But they have rallied together as a team, and as a result, we are modifying. We are reducing to about, I think, 29 sites starting on Monday. Now, we're not serving meals tomorrow because that was a scheduled holiday for schools. But starting on Monday, we will be down to 29 sites in the district. We will be serving meals on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. And the time, instead of being from 11 to 1, it will be 9 to 11. And of course, the reason why we're doing some of this consolidation to try to get to the end of the school year is because of the workforce is dwindling a little bit in regard to the changed number of days. We're finding that some of the food resources are not available because every school district is looking for the same pre-packaged materials to distribute. And then the times of the day, it's getting warmer, and we need to make sure that we do things safely for our staff and our community. And in addition to that, we are always working for what's the right safety protocols, gloves, masks, separation of distribution, so people feel secure that we're taking care of them as employees and students and parents.
Well, thank you, Pete. I mean, you've done a great job of educating and feeding our community over the last few weeks, and I know this we're not near finished, so thanks for all the good work you're doing. I'd just like to remind everyone watching that this is interactive. If you have questions for any of our guests, please feel free to share those on Facebook, and we will include them in our discussion. For now, let's move over to discussing or welcome Dr. Lori Berquam, the interim president of Mesa Community College. Dr. Berquam, thank you. I know what a challenging situation you're in right now, and I know you're not live in classrooms right now, but also educating remotely. Is that correct?
Absolutely. We also moved to online instruction. We already have some online instruction, but we moved to 96% online instruction as of April 6th. We've provided outreach and numerous resources for our students. We know that we have a small percentage of our students who don't have access to laptops or other devices, and so we did identify about 300 that we were able to distribute, and we're happy that we've been able to do that. We also worked with our emergency fund to provide students the ability to gain remote access. And so that has been extraordinarily beneficial. But similar to what Dr. Lesser has indicated, this was a really quick ramp up for our faculty and for our students. And we've had some phenomenal people who have stepped up to assist their colleagues. And for us, the Center for Teaching and Learning, our technology crew, and our teams have really been outstanding at supporting students and supporting faculty to make this transition as seamless as it could be. And I'm extraordinarily grateful. But again, similar to what Dr. Lesser has said, this wasn't anything we anticipated. And so one of the things that we have found in going through this is how are we offering ourselves some grace? And what I mean by that is recognizing that there will be mistakes, and how do we roll with it? How do we also acknowledge what limitations we might have so that our students feel comfortable acknowledging theirs? I had an email from a faculty member who said, I sent out this email to my students saying I never thought I would teach online. I'm a paper and pencil person, but we're teaching online. We're going to get through this together, and shared a few points for the students. This is going to be trial and error. We have to laugh. We have to acknowledge that there are horrible things happening, and each of us carries with us things that we don't share with each other all the time. And so how are we also operating with compassion? So those were the things that I think were critical for us as we moved into this. Certainly the ramp up, and we're grateful for the seamless connection with Canvas. Many of our students come from Mesa Public Schools, and so we're able to have that seamless transition, and they already have a familiarity with Canvas. So that has been extraordinarily helpful. I know as I am in this world that none of us predicted a few months ago, I'm grateful for the way in which the community has come together. I'm grateful for the way in which our faculty, staff, and students have come together. It's really, it's an amazing time when you look at that. And I do also believe we'll come out of this stronger. We'll also come out of this understanding each other. My hope is a little bit better, and recognizing that we all have skills and talents. And this is one way in which we can come together during a a horrific time across our nation and around the world.
You know, it sounds like parents of K-12 students and community college students need to become familiar with the Canvas program if we're going to be able to participate and assist our kids through this process. So hopefully there's some intuitive aspects to that, and we can pick it up without too much work. Dr. Berkram, are there things that parents or supporters of MCC students can do to assist? Do you have enough devices? I know you've been able to tap into some resources to help with that, but do you have some needs that we can address for you?
Well, I appreciate that question. I think the first that I would ask, and that's for our parents, for our students, for our staff and faculty, is again to recognize that we're doing this through trial and error, and everybody is walking in the world with a different burden. And so that concept of grace and compassion, I think, will go a very long way. One of the things we have that we believe in strongly is that through the process of making mistakes, you also learn. And so to our families at home, recognizing that this is a process of learning in and of itself. So it's okay to make mistakes. It's okay to laugh. In fact, we encourage it. It's okay to recognize that you might need to go out and take a walk, or you might need to spend some time outside so that you can get away from the very technology that is connecting us. But it's also okay sometimes to step away and take the needed breaks.
Sure.
In terms of the devices, right now, it appears we have met or pretty close to meeting the needs of our students. And so we're really grateful for that. And our emergency fund is being able to be used for those who need it and whatever they might need it for. And I appreciate all the efforts the city has done to make sure that those who need help and support, whether that is food insecurity or whatever that is, that we come together as a community to do what we can to address those needs.
Thank you, Dr. Berkram. Pete, if you don't mind, I'm going to circle back to you before we start with Heather, because we did have a question come in on the comment section of Facebook. And I think it probably addresses a lot of anxiety that parents and students are experiencing, because grading and evaluations and testing are a big part of the stress associated with education. So here's the question. It says, what is going to happen about benchmark tests for ELA students for elementary school since they are now at homeschooling? Would they still be tested, and how? So can you talk a little bit about how, some of these, how testing is going to occur and the challenges of doing that remotely?
Absolutely, Mayor. As Dr. Berkram had said, we need to understand that these are unusual and different times. And everybody has a different circumstance that we may not know about. So we need to be thoughtful and sensitive and open and flexible about how this work goes, because there will be families that are losing jobs, or brothers and sisters that are watching each other, or maybe one computer and 3 siblings where they need to have access. As far as the benchmark testing, that testing has been suspended. We will not be doing testing with students until next year, as far as pre-K through 8, generally speaking. We're not going to administer the AZ Merit or AZ2 M2 tests, which are the state exams, whether they be in ELA or math or AIMS science. And we don't want this circumstance to result in punitive measures for kids. We know this is different. We know that we're learning together. And so we're going to look to understand, to be flexible, but we really want kids to engage. This isn't an invitation because we're closed to not engage with learning. So we want parents to access our home learning resources, email their teachers, sit with their children, identify times for them to do their schoolwork. But as far as the benchmark testing, we will not be doing benchmark testing for the remainder of this year. You asked that question, Mayor, and I would tell you, we're thinking about how do we manage the rest of the year. I would tell you, we're also thinking, how do we begin the next school year? Because we know that during a closure, that there will be different levels of learning and gaps in that learning that we had not planned for. So when we get back to school, however we get back and we get open, we're going to need to be able to assess our kids. What learning have they fallen short on? What gaps in learning do they have? To be able to get them up to speed so we close that gap during the closure.
Okay, well, thank you. Hopefully that answer clarified and maybe alleviated some anxiety that a lot of parents and students are feeling. So thank you. I know this was originally scheduled for a half an hour. We're going to go far over that because we have a lot of it still important information to share with you. I'm excited to now join Heather Wolf to the conversation. Heather, thank you. This is, again, a challenging experience for the library staff because kids and families and adults even need access to educational materials to augment what's going on in school now more than ever. So how does the Mesa library system respond in this context?
Well, thank you, Mayor, so much for inviting me to speak about the great resources that we do have available. And it's a real honor to share the time with Dr. Lesser and Dr. Berquam. As you said, we are here to support their students. And we have always had what we call a virtual branch. So that's our website and our digital resources, our online databases. But now we're having to shift and close all of our physical branches and shift all of our attention and focus to our virtual branch. The staff is amazing. They are pivoting very quickly. And we want you to know that even though our buildings are closed, we are here to help educate and entertain all the ages of our Mesa residents while everyone stays safe at home. So just a reminder, our website is mesalibrary.org, and you will need a library card for some of our resources. The mayor and I spoke before the program started, but since we closed, we have been able to upload an online application, so you can get a free library card within a couple of days. You get a library card and a PIN number, and then you're ready to go and access all of our resources, not just the ones that you could access without the library card. So for children, we have a lot of resources. We have a couple of databases for children preschool through kindergarten. So I would like to highlight Ms. Humblebee's Academy. It has lessons on math, science, social science, language, literacy, music, and art. And they're very short, they're interactive. So it's a good way for children who are preschool and kindergarten to work on those kindergarten skills. For our children ages K through 6, we also have something called Tumble Books. And Tumble Books includes animated talking picture books for children who are learning to read along chapter books for children who are a little bit further along. We have National Geographic videos, nonfiction books, as well as books in Spanish and French for children who are learning another language. There are over 1,100 titles in Tumble Books. They do include graphic novels for our students who love those. And many of the titles for parents who are looking for age-appropriate books, many of the titles do have information about the AR level, the Lexile level, those sorts of things that maybe their teachers have talked to the students about to help them identify what's appropriate for them. You will see those on Tumble Books as well. So parents can rest assured that their children are going to find titles that are going to help supplement whatever they're doing in school. Also, our amazing librarians have been doing mini lessons. So in addition to the online databases, under the resources for children, you will see at-home activities for children. And These are basically little mini lessons to help parents explore different topics with their kids. And it's really preschool through second grade for the levels of reading and activities. So each mini lesson has links to books, songs. There are activities with clear directions. If you need to print out a worksheet, that's available as well. And sometimes there are how-to videos. So our librarians have tried to make it as easy as possible for parents who are not used to kind of structuring a curriculum to do that at home and participate with their children in learning. And then finally, I want to remind everyone, we need to keep our minds active, and reading is great exercise. So even though you can't check out our hard copy books, you can still access the largest. So Mayor, we're not the largest public library system, but we do have the largest digital collection in the state, and you can access that with your library card. So you can download books, audiobooks, magazines, music, and video 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And I want to reassure the parents out there that there are many juvenile and young adult book titles available through the digital collection.
Well, so we got bragging rights. We got the 3 biggest systems then in the state right here in Mesa. So that we're proud of you, Heather. Thanks for allowing us to brag about you. So hopefully a lot of the resources that you just mentioned are well known and good friends to the families in our community. But I'm glad of what you led with, which is that if right now the Mesa library system is a stranger to the families in our community, that's easily cured. They can go online, get a library card remotely, and start accessing all the things that you just described. Correct?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yep.
And a lot of these resources that you've talked about, the Mrs. Humblebees, for example, is part of the Mesa K-Ready program. This might be a great opportunity for kids that maybe don't have an academic experience traditionally to spend some time getting ready to go to school next year as well.
Correct. You know, with everybody at home, it's important to keep everybody busy,
Right.
As we all know.
Well, thank you, Heather. Hopefully, we take full advantage of all the resources that the city has and the library system has. We've had, again, some great comments and some great questions that have come in. So let's, here's the next question is, what is going to happen for seniors that are supposed to graduate this year? Is there going to be a ceremony eventually? Pete, high school graduation ceremony, that's a memorable thing. Are we just not having them?
Well, we anticipate that we're going to be closed, whether it be our buildings and activities through the remainder of the year. So that's what we've shared with our families and our teachers, that the schools are closed through the remainder of the year, and we will not have any school activities during that time. But I will tell you this, that our leaders, along with our high school principals, know how important these types of things are to students. And they are working on possibilities, plans. Of course, I will probably throw the word virtual out, that we are looking to do celebrations with our graduating classes in a manner that would be virtual, that would acknowledge their great work, this moment in their life that they should all be proud of. And we know that that will come sooner than later. So in fact, I think we've got a group of people meeting this afternoon to continue those conversations with our principals.
Great. Well, we'll look forward to innovative ways to make this a memorable experience, and people have a great story to share about the year that they graduated in spite of the coronavirus. Let me kind of wrap things up by just reminding the parents and those who are watching today that I think we need to understand the significance of the times that we're in and the challenges that we're facing. This is not just a switch to homeschooling. This is a switch to crisis schooling, which is different and which is stressful. I think we can't downplay the stress that our children and the adults in the home are experiencing. This is not like summer vacation or October break. The access to the social and emotional and physical benefits of interacting with your peers and with people outside of your home, that's a traumatic loss for all of us, but maybe felt particularly by the young people in our homes. So I hope that in addition to taking care of all the academic needs that we've talked about today, that parents and families and even adults living by themselves understand that you have to schedule some time to go outside. You have to schedule some time to interact emotionally and intellectually with other people. You have to have some physical components to your day. If not, the domestic violence calls and the mental health issues in our community are just going to climb and climb and climb. So in addition to the academic challenges, let's please be mindful of the emotional and the mental challenges that this is creating for all of us. And on top of that, let's all try to have some fun. Let's look for the silver lining. As Dr. Berkwam says, let's look for opportunities to be kind to one another. There really are a lot of opportunities for people that maybe you haven't interacted with or been able to be a blessing to prior to this, for you to reach out and be a significant blessing in this time of need. Well, let me just again thank our wonderful panelists that were with us today, Dr. Lesser from Mesa Public Schools, Dr. Berkwam from Mesa Community College, and Heather Wolf from the Mesa Public Library. Thank you for all that you've done for the community in this very challenging time. And please, for those of you at home and on Facebook, please look forward. We'll continue to do these summits on important topics as we, together as a community, make our way through this very challenging time. Thanks for being with us today. Good afternoon, and welcome to the Inspire Mesa Community Summit. After weeks of spending much of our time at home, the physical and emotional impacts of the coronavirus pandemic can begin to take their toll. Whether we are working more or working less or not working at all, stress, boredom, fear, and uncertainty can lead to anxiety and depression that affect our relationships with our family and friends. These changes in our routines are disruptive, and one way to support overall health is to take time to focus on our mind, our body, and our spirit. The hashtag Inspire Mesa is designed to uplift residents by shining a light on positive happenings in our community. The accompanying webpage, mesaaz.gov/Inspire Mesa, is full of tools to help our residents connect with neighbors, exercise, meditate, create, and learn so we can all keep our minds and bodies active. Remember that this summit is live, so if you have a question, please enter it into the comments section and we'll do our best to address it during this broadcast. I want to take a moment also to mention some businesses who have really inspired Mesa over the past few weeks. Titan Solar, for example, donated 1,000 masks. Magellan Health donated 2,000 sanitizers to our first responders. Santander donated a refrigerated truck to the United Food Bank. And Just-in-Time Moving and Storage is helping them move food across the community. Some businesses in Mesa have shifted their production to fight COVID-19 as well. Just yesterday, I took a tour of the Boring facility in Mesa where they're using their 3D printing facilities to make face shields for healthcare workers. There's a great company in Mesa called iTech. They build software so patients who can't speak can communicate to medical staff through eye movement. Eclipse Automation was the first company in the United States to make N95 masks through an automated system. So these and other great businesses is what Inspire Mesa is all about. It's keeping our community connected and finding ways to take care of ourselves, to show kindness and compassion and caring to others. We have some great guests today that are going to really give us some solid advice on how to be better physically and spiritually and emotionally prepared for this pandemic. On the topic of mind, we have Dr. Terry Pipe. She is the ASU Chief Wellbeing Officer, and she's here today to talk about mindfulness, resilience, and how to cope during a crisis. When it comes to body, we hope to be joined with Chris Powell, who's a personal trainer known for his Transform app and TV show Extreme Weight Loss. And in spirit, we have Matt Ferris. Matt is a country singer who started hashtag Corona Caroling throughout Mesa neighborhoods to uplift our residents. So let's get started. I'm pleased to start initially with Dr. Terry Pipe. Terry, I love your job title. I think every organization and really every family ought to have a chief well-being officer. What a great job. Thank you for being here. What advice do you have for our community in a time of crisis like this? What I keep saying is this is not like a spring break or a Christmas vacation. This is really a crisis situation. And so the stress that we're experiencing is really unlike anything that we've experienced before. What
That's
advice do you
right.
have for us?
Well, thank you, first of all, for asking. This is a really important conversation, and I think that your leadership in acknowledging that what's so different about this is that we're all going through this crisis together, but we're also going through it individually. So my first advice is not really advice, it's just please remember that if you're feeling nervous or anxious or afraid, that is completely normal and natural because you're being faced with a threat and with uncertainty. So there's nothing wrong with you if you're feeling that way. And likewise, if you're feeling lonely or alone, please know that you're not alone in those feelings, that many, if not all of us, are having those feelings right now. However, there are things that we can do to address those feelings and not only get through this time, but to actually grow stronger through this time. So the first thing, again, is to just remember that you're okay, that you're normal, and that if you're feeling that the anxiety or depression is so severe that you can't get through day to day, that there are many, many different resources that you can access to help you. So certainly getting counseling, therapy, medical advice, really important. So the tips that I'm going to give you don't replace those medical opinions, healthcare opinions, but there's things that you can use in addition to medical care or counseling or therapy. So one thing to remember is that during this time, we're hearing a lot about things that we can't do, restrictions, places that we can't go. But please remember that there are so many things that we still can do. So shifting the mindset from being closed and focused on restriction and constraint to remembering that there are still a lot of different things that we can do. So one thing is focusing on the present and focusing in a way that is factual and it doesn't add story or bring in baggage from the past or fears of the future, but just noticing how you are right here and right now. We also often use the breath as an anchor. So when you breathe in, and you might just want to do it with me now, just take a deep breath in. You really activate and engage part of your nervous system that is attentive and can bring you refreshment. And when you exhale, just let go. It's very relaxing. So just being able to ride the wave of your breath as it happens to you and bringing awareness to the breath can be very calming and very centering and brings sort of a better sense of the ability to problem solve, to make decisions, and to bring your best self forward in this time when you will probably be called upon to make important decisions. So another thing is that even though we're asked to be physically distant from each other right now, it's really very important. That doesn't mean to socially disconnect. We can absolutely be in contact with friends and family that mean so much to us. And, going through and thinking about people that might be feeling alone or lonely right now, it's a really good time to reach out to them. One thing that we think about in terms of resilience is, when I say resilience, I mean not just the ability to bounce back from adversity, but actually the chance to get better and stronger through adversity. So through ASU's Center for Mindfulness, Compassion, and Resilience, we're doing daily sessions that are recorded on YouTube, so you can join us live or you can join us after the fact. And we teach practices that can help with, during this time. And we made these sessions as a response. Our yearly conference got canceled because of the situation. So we just decided to focus on what we can do, and we can provide these. They're free of charge. Everyone is welcome. So you can go to mindfulnesscenter.asu.edu to access those. And one thing that we're really focused on, the intention for those YouTube sessions, is to not only give individuals skills to cope with the situation, but also to drive our communities deeper and stronger to be more resilient in the future. So remembering that taking care of the individual is really important, but also growing compassion for each other will help us not only be stronger and more resilient ourselves, but will enhance our community. So with that, I'll turn it back over to you, and you're welcome to ask questions, or we'll just go through the speaker panel.
You bet. Thank you. We'll look for anyone to log on and ask a question. But Terry, I have a question for you. I think there are a lot of people that are great at asking for help, or for understanding their own limitations and knowing when they need to reach out and engage, in getting some help. There are others of us that feel like we have the world on our shoulders and it's up to us to solve the world's problems. And if we reach out for help or acknowledge that we need to take a moment to sharpen the saw, that's some sort of a weakness on our part. I think, would it be fair to say that really everybody, even if you think that you're, emotionally, mentally tough, everyone needs to realize that this is taking a toll on them, and they need to do some of the breathing exercises, some of the meditation, the things you've talked about. It's not just for people who are good at acknowledging that they need some help.
That's absolutely right. You said it so well. I don't know that I can really add to what you said, except to say that every single one of us is going through this, and that often stress will sneak up on us if we don't address it, proactively and in a preventive manner. And it sneaks up on us physically, but also emotionally. And you might notice, getting aggravated with things that don't normally aggravate you, or speaking in a way that isn't really representative of how you want to be listened to. So all of those and more can be signs of stress. But to your point, it's so much better to take care of ourselves before we feel the ramifications of all the chronicness of the stress, and do it in the moment proactively. So thank you. It's a great perspective.
There's an app on my my watch and my phone, a breathing exercise that I've kind of gotten addicted to, and I noticed that it really does help. You talked about breathing exercises a little bit earlier, and you also mentioned the website that the ASU has with some of these tools on it. I think we've also posted some of your tools on the /Inspire Mesa website as well. So are you familiar with what we're borrowing from you on the Inspire Mesa site?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for getting the word out, because as you said, this really hits all of us. And the more that we can engage individually and as a community, and even if mindfulness doesn't sound like something that you would be interested in, and by mindfulness, I just mean focused awareness and presence. It's not a religion in the way we teach it. It's not a belief system. Even if it seems like something that you would never be interested in, right now is a great time to explore it. And if perhaps you're not interested in it, it's a great resource to share with other people as well.
Okay. Well, thank you, Dr. Pipe. If we get some chatter on Facebook, we'll come back and run them by you. But next, I'd like to introduce you to a couple that lives in Mesa that really are far more well-known than I am, far more recognized, and have really a national following. Chris and Heidi Powell are celebrities, and we're honored that you live in Mesa. And in addition to being really national celebrities, you guys are Mesa people. You are deeply rooted in this community, deeply committed to this community. You do a lot. The first time I met Chris was had been a national disaster, and we were all looking for something to do, and I went in to give blood, and there was Chris Powell. And so, Chris, I know that you're not, you're somebody who runs towards a fire, and we've got a fire in our community right now. So, Chris and Heidi, thank you so much for being a part of this program. I know that you've allowed us to use some of your exercise programs, you know, in the program, the websites that we put up on the city. Can you give us a little bit of a overview of what resources you're making available to the community? And then also, maybe similar to what Dr. Pipe just did, tell us why this is important for everybody, you know, not just exercise enthusiasts, but why everybody needs to be engaged in this.
Yeah, absolutely. And thank you, Mayor. I really appreciate you having us on. It's an honor to be here, especially speaking to all of our fellow residents here in Mesa. And, you know, I was born right down the street here at Desert Sam, and Heidi was raised here. So it really is, it's amazing to be able to give back however we possibly can. And yes, we have found our love and our passion in fitness and in exercise just because of all of the benefits that we can receive from that. And actually, as Dr. Pipe was just talking about, you know, in these stressful times, it is natural for a lot of us to withdraw. And a lot of times with that withdrawal, it can turn into a sedentary lifestyle. You know, obviously you feel the stress, but before you know it, you're sleeping in, you wake up, you really don't want to do much, you're not moving around, you start snacking on the things that you really shouldn't be snacking on. Before you know it, you feel terrible. You feel terrible physically, you feel terrible mentally. But now is also such a pivotal time where we can actually really start to make a change in our lifestyle. We can start to adopt some really healthy habits. And the one thing we recommend is don't take on too much at once. Maybe just adopt one healthy habit, whether it's drinking more water, maybe it's going on a little walk, you know, a 5-minute or 10-minute walk every day, but that can make a world of difference. Because when we're talking about the physical and the mental benefits of exercise, it's the laundry list. I mean, just from moving your body and fueling it with the right food, it will give you back so much more. So, I mean, just talking about the physical benefits alone of just a little bit of movement every day, we're talking about decreasing the risk of heart attack, decreasing cholesterol, decreasing blood pressure, decreasing the risk of type 2 diabetes, increasing bone density, especially for a lot of our older population out there. Just a little bit of light resistance training, pushing against the wall, standing up and sitting down. You can increase your bone density significantly, reducing the risk of falls, etc. And again, those are just on the physical side, not to mention an increase in strength and mobility and flexibility and overall increase in your quality of life. And just a little bit of that movement, which is what our human body is made to do, it goes a really long way. But then now let's talk about the mental aspect of it, which so many of us, we need this now more than ever. We're talking exercise, and we always say this, it is the most underprescribed anti-anxiety and antidepressant ever. It is extremely powerful at releasing endorphins, giving you that feel-good sensation at reducing stress that Dr. Pipe was just talking about, which a lot of us are feeling right now. It's extremely powerful at reducing stress, increasing your mood and your self-esteem, and also increasing your sleep. So, I mean, guys, seriously, when it comes to talking about the positive benefits of exercise, I could talk about this for hours. Sure. So the takeaway here is just a little bit goes a long way. So we're encouraging everyone just to move a little. And that's why we actually ended up giving a lot of our assets to you to help the city of Mesa.
That's great, and I want people to know that you have a great, your Transform at Home program, you know, is very successful, and we appreciate you loaning it to the city of Mesa during this period of time, and we have it up on, you know, on our website as well. Tell us a little bit about that program.
Yeah, so our Transform at Home program is, it's funny because we created this, I should say it's ironic, we created it long before we realized the need that the world was going to have for it. It's 28 days where we walk you through, we work out with you all 28 days. I mean, we actually have a prescribed plan for you. It's very easy. It's created for people, beginner, all the way up to advanced. So you can make it as difficult or as easy and modifiable as you need to. So if you're just starting out for the first time and you're just trying to get some kind of physical activity in, we include all of the different modifications for people that are sedentary on the couch to an elite athlete. So you can make it work for you. Not only do we have the exercise, the guidance on the exercise, and we walk you through all of that, but we also have a really great nutrition plan in there, very easy to follow. And Chris talked about starting small. I think this is a great area for anyone that's looking to increase, Chris said, increase their self-esteem, decrease, that feeling of anxiety, and really just overall the health benefits of it are incredible. But I also want people to know, when you start out on a plan, you start, at least a lot of people are like, gosh, I'm going to get a couple days in and I'm not going to be able to stick with it. This is something where we want you to use this resource no matter how many days a week you can get in there. It's just important. A little bit goes a long way. And when we're scared to start, we obviously can't see those benefits. So I really want to encourage people just to get in there, explore it. Even if the first day you get in, you're just watching us move. You're watching the people do the exercises. You're looking through the recipes, and then commit the next day to maybe just trying out a move or two. Just have fun with it. Remember, exercise should be fun. And in the long run, it's going to make you feel great.
Well, thanks. I think I speak for a lot of people when I say that I've gone into a physical funk, during this period of time. I was kind of doing okay when it came to exercise, but when all the stress of this moment occurred, I was joking to people, that emergency order that we issued, suspended all food and nutrition guidelines and all exercise guidelines. And that's just not true, right? And so after a week or two, I think we got to tie a knot on the end of our rope and realize that the way out of this is to prioritize, taking care of yourself, and you've got to have some physical activity that you prioritize and make sure you happen every day, or you're just going to, again, slowly trend down into a place that we don't want to be.
Absolutely. And Mayor, you're spot on. And you are not alone. You and about 330 million more of us, we all experience the exact same thing. And again, it's the stress, it's the unknown, and all of these different things. And we just have that tendency to withdraw and just kind of fall back to what we feel is going to comfort us here and now. It's that immediate gratification. I really want to eat this, and this is going to make me feel better. And I don't know what tomorrow's going to look like. But at the same time, here we are a month in to this crisis, and who knows how much longer, and we're starting to pay the price physically and mentally. We're starting to wake up to the fact that you just got to tie that knot and say, hey, wait a second, I'm going in a really bad direction here. And also, if you're watching the news, you can see that this virus, it goes after the people with those comorbidities that I was talking about, with high blood pressure, with type 2 diabetes. And so that's who it's attacking. I think this is a really big wake-up call that we need our health and fitness now more than ever if we really want to, survive this. And obviously, so many of us are going to survive it, but at the same time, I think it's shining a huge spotlight on.
We want to minimize the effects.
Absolutely, yes. minimize the impact of this virus, and so we do need our health and fitness now more than ever. And so now is the time. And again, we're telling you, look, guys, don't overthink it. Don't take on too much at once. Just check out the program that we've offered all of you for free. Come work out with us. We promise we won't bite. We'll make it super easy. Or maybe go on a little walk around the neighborhood. Obviously, keep your distance from your neighbors, but it's really important. You gotta spend some time and invest in yourself. And I promise you, your body will give it back tenfold.
Well, and what's interesting is when we're so insanely stressed and anxious that the last thing we want to do is work out. The last thing we want to do is move. Talking about all the things we want to do is sit on the couch, watch TV, probably things that are scaring us, and eat all the food. But the first thing we should be doing the second we feel stressed, the second we feel that pit in our stomach, that anxiety building up, is we should be getting up and we should be moving, whether it's doing a workout or just walking around your house or walking around your neighborhood. Whatever you can do in your area that is safe is really the thing that's going to start bringing that anxiety down. I promise you. I mean, a challenge. When you feel it, do it. When you feel that stress, that anxiety, get up and start moving and watch how much it minimizes it. It's really something.
And don't take our word for it. Just do it and see for yourself. Yeah. But I promise you, you're going to be blown away at how good it makes you feel. And it's free.
Thank you so much for contributing your expertise and your program to the city, particularly this period of time. Like you say, even for beginners. I mean, if you're not an exercise buff, hopefully some good might come out of this, and people start walking, or they start doing some things that they weren't doing before to deal with the stress, and maybe that's something we take with us from this experience. So we'll come back. Thank you so much. We look forward to, I'm committing right now, tomorrow I'm going to log on and I'm going to incorporate you guys into my daily routine.
Love it.
Next, I want to move on to what was really a fun story. And again, part of this this program today is to help us look for ways that we can relieve stress, we can have fun, we can worry about other people. You know, we can do something to make other people happy. I'm really excited to have with us today Matt Ferris. Matt is another celebrity. He's got a huge following online. He's a professional country western singer. He's fabulous. I've watched your videos, Matt. I love your music. But you're also a Mesa guy, and you've used your talents to look out into the community to say, what can I do to put a smile on people's faces and to kind of alleviate some of the stress that's going on. We have a video that I'd like to roll that shows this hashtag Corona caroling that you've been doing. Can we roll that video now?
Awesome. You're the one I want. You're the one I need, baby. If I was a king, you would be my queen. You're my rock and my roll. You're good for my soul. It's true.
What the video shows, Matt is again a professional musician. You've got a great band that backs you up. You threw everybody on the back of a flatbed trailer, started going up and down the streets of your neighborhood, and not just your neighborhood, but all over different neighborhoods in Mesa. And really brought out a lot of people onto the street in a physically, separated way. Put a lot of smiles on people's faces. Tell us what you think the role of music is in a situation like this, Matt. What does that do for us to hear and participate in music at a time like this?
I really think music is a big part of everyday life. I mean, music heals a lot of things, and people can maybe forget what's going on for the couple of minutes I'm driving by. The neighborhoods have been great, and they're keeping their distance, but they're in their driveways and just watching and listening. And being a part of it's just been an amazing experience. And then bringing the band involved and having the whole band on the trailer. The first time I did it, I was just in the bed of my truck. I was like, let's just drive around. I got with my management team in Nashville, and we're like, what can we do to bring music to the people during this time? And he said, just get in the truck and drive around. I'm like, I like this idea. And then it kind of caught on. And then the next time I did it, there was maybe 15 people in the neighborhood out in the driveways. I'm like, oh, this is kind of cool. Let's keep doing that, especially the kids. I mean, we have 4 kids, so I know that the kids are going stir crazy. We're going stir crazy. My band's going stir crazy. Like, we have to just keep active and get out there and do something to make sure the kids are having a good time and everyone's having a good time. Now it's the whole neighborhood gets involved out here, and they're out in their driveways, and the kids have signs and they're holding it up. Mesa Fire Department got involved, and a couple of my friends from Country Thunder got involved and brought pizzas, and we delivered them with masks and gloves and kept our distance. And
that's
just really trying to give back as much as we can.
Well, I mean, you're in a profession that obviously is just absolutely devastated by this pandemic. I mean, we can't have, gatherings for live music going on right now. And so finding a creative way to continue to share your talents in a way that builds up the community is something that we really appreciate. I don't know if we're going to get to roll the video, but Matt, you're kind of a walking, talking video. You're Mr. Live Music. Okay. I'm sorry. I think the video, I didn't see it, but I think it was rolling on Facebook. So
yeah,
people
it did roll on Facebook for a minute there.
Okay, great. While you've got your guitar, do you mind sharing a little something with us? I didn't know if you were prepared to sing something.
Yeah.
But
I mean, if you want me to, I could do an original song called...
Listen to you.
I can do a song called American Made for you, which is pretty good for right now.
I love it.
She drives her Mustang with a top back, pulls her hair through the back of her bobcat. Jesus tattoo on her right wrist. She likes her whiskey with a little bit of honey in. New York City lights, Georgia on her mind, Carolina angel with Southern California eyes. She's a Springsteen song, and she feels like home, born and raised. That girl is American made. She loves her football and mama's apple pie. Sunday church pew and a back road. Saturday night, wears a black dress like a beauty queen. Don't mind getting dirty in her blue jeans. She's New York City lights, Georgia on her mind, Carolina angel with Southern California eyes. She's a Springsteen song, man, she feels like home, born and raised. That girl is American made. It's American made for you, some of it for you.
Thank you very much, Matt. Thank you.
Yeah, of course.
People are clapping all over Mesa right now.
It's been great. We're gonna go today actually do some caroling around some assisted living places in Mesa and around the area that asked me to do it. So I'll go outside and they can sit on their patios and watch me. So.
Well, great. I hope you've inspired. I know we've got a lot of really musically talented people in Mesa, and hopefully you've inspired them to want to share that gift with others and brighten the spirits in our community. So.
Yeah, of course.
This is all the time we had set aside, I'm afraid, but I hope that this conversation today has helped you to think of ways that you can shine a light on the brighter side of what's going on in our community right now. We've seen a lot of amazing chalk drawings, a lot of people spending time sewing cloth masks, doing community art walls, having virtual potlucks, putting thank you signs up, taking thank you meals to our first responders. You know, just lots of really good positive things going on. So when you see that, let's use this hashtag Inspire Mesa so that we can inspire one another to see the bright side of what is a dark cloud that we're all experiencing right now. Let's all do a breathing exercise, put Matt Ferris on our earbuds and go out for a walk. And again, we'll get through this together. This is about a moment in time in our community that we'll look back on as one of the big challenges that we faced. So thanks again for being with us today. Be well, and let's do our best to take care of one another. Thank you.
To this playground equipment behind me, the Ramada area, the soccer fields, is just from every part of fitness and family fun. The enormity of all these factors coming together and these old stomping grounds of Mesa Junior High couldn't make me more proud.
We want Mesa to be the safest community in the country, but we can't do it without your help.
Arriving on scene out front. Go ahead and call for SWAT.
Hey there, can you tell me why the cops are here?
We have officers responding to an incident in the area. The officer will contact you when they are clear.
Oh, thanks, I see him.
We'll train you on how to become an officer.
It's not just about fighting crime. We know when to have fun, too. Catch. Bring it in.
In fact, there are a lot of things to join about our community.
The city of Mesa is a smart city, striving to improve the live, work, and play of our citizens. Mesa Smart City is made up of these 7 components. The first is Smart Community. Create an engaged, inclusive, and equitable community that provides a high quality of life to all Mesa citizens. The next is Smart Downtown. Create a vibrant, attractive downtown that is thriving with live, work, and play activities for both residents and businesses. The next is Smart Environment. Protect the environment and create sustainable options where possible. The next is Smart Infrastructure. Modernize essential infrastructure to provide essential city services and preserve a high quality of life in Mesa. The next is Smart Transportation and Mobility. Create accessible, equitable, and safe multimodal transit options along with creating the ability to move easily throughout Mesa. And the next is Smart Public Safety. Create a safe and secure environment for all citizens. The last is Smart Government. Create a responsive, engaged city that makes decisions based on data and understands citizens' needs. These are the components that make Mesa, Arizona a smart city. The City of Mesa looks for opportunities to innovate, creating new applications, programs, and services that help support our community and help to build a smarter Mesa. For more information about our Smart City strategic plan and initiatives, please visit us at mesaaz.gov/aboutus/smartcity.
We offer land surveying solutions and GIS mapping to public and private entities like architects, city governments, DOTs, federal projects. And over the last 5 to 10 years with technology, have evolved into a lot of other small niches that we fit into. All of it relates to surveying, but it's all being driven by technology and the 3D environment and what we can do with building and land and all that kind of stuff. I at first was a little hesitant because it was a little bit further of my range of where I wanted to be. I was more in Central Phoenix, and being here has actually really opened my eyes to what's down here. And now that I'm down here and see it, that's when it got recommended to me and I got to see it. That's what really sold me. Was wow, there's a lot of cool stuff going on. What really has helped, I think, big time is the classrooms available to us, and the internet speed is another big one. A lot of people might not see it as a huge deal, but we're transferring huge file sets back and forth constantly, and 15 minutes compared to an hour on 10 different sites makes a huge difference. Just the benefit of having the space, the amenities, the copy room, and then on top of it, you've got all the entrepreneurs and people in here that are working together to try to find some common way to work together, as well as doing their own individual thing. So I've met a lot of people here as well that I've actually gotten a couple jobs out of just meeting the people here. And that right there, the networking has been huge. So yeah, a lot of things that it's helped me with, and I look forward to the next 9 months or year of what's coming, because now that I see what's available and we start using it, it's becoming more and more apparent of what we can do.
Hi everyone, Ranger Burton here with the City of Mesa Park Rangers. I'm going to go over a few how-tos, do's and don'ts within the City of Mesa in regards to our community fishing waters. Generalized rules that will include maps to each individual site that will give you location to the restrooms, the lake depth, the bag limits or catch limits, and where you can park within the facility. Next thing is going to be safety before, during, and after fishing. Obviously, we want to wear the proper gear. You want to make sure you have closed-toed shoes, maybe a hat on. We want to bring enough water and sunblock out, take care of the heat. We want to make sure that we station ourselves far enough away from other anglers so that you can be safe within your casting, as well as giving courtesy and distance. Remember guys, come out, have fun, enjoy our waters, be safe.
Want to figure out how much water you should use? It's easy with the new Know Your H2O water calculator. Step 1. Tell us a little about your household and property. Step 2. The calculator will estimate how much water you need and show you where your water is going. Step 3. Use the recommended resources, tools, and tips to help you use water wisely and save money. Start saving water today.
Problems. The ones most people don't have the stomach for. The ones nobody talks about at cocktail parties. We go looking for them. In unforgiving neighborhoods, in struggling communities, and in seemingly docile suburbs. No matter the obstacles, no matter the odds, we surround the community's most critical problems. And we fight. Mesa United Way fights for the health, education, and financial stability of every person in this community. Because change doesn't happen alone. Hope isn't a one-man band, and there is no such thing as self-taught or self-made. We have one life to live better. We must live united.
It's going to be a modern office building. One of the differences that we have is we actually have 10-foot floor-to-ceiling glass, 360 degrees around the property or around the building itself, which really creates some great views and it lets a lot of natural light into the space. The first building's going to be completed about a year from now, so in October of 2020. The tenants that we're talking to, and the market's very active, is the financial services are a big tenant, and then also tech companies are a big tenant. You know, they want to have cool, viable, efficient workspaces that their employees want to come to work at and B, stay.
So it's going to be fun to see that happen. It's going to be fun to see the economic impact all of these jobs have in the surrounding neighborhoods and in the homes and in the retail that are here that could use, you know, a little bit more activities.
As you drive east on the 202 freeway, this is one of the last building parcels of land that this type of major development can happen in the East Valley, and Mesa has it, so that's what's exciting about this development.
Construction to widen the Loop 101 between Baseline and the Loop 202 Santan is underway. Closures are scheduled mostly during overnight hours and on weekends. Construction is scheduled to be completed in late spring of 2020. Minimize delays by subscribing to ADOT traffic alerts. Just go to azdot.gov/price freeway improvements, click on subscribe for updates, and enter your email address. That's it. You'll begin receiving alerts in your inbox. Stay informed with www.az511.gov.
For years, Mesa Parks Recreation and Community Facilities has worked hard to provide spaces and places for people of all ages, of all abilities, regardless of where they may be on the autism spectrum, the opportunity to play and recreate. To have the opportunity to become the first Parks and Recreation Department that's autism certified in the entire country, leading to the entire city becoming autism certified, is truly innovative and something we're excited to be a part of and proud to be a leader across the country in this arena.
I like playing in the city of Mesa because their rules are not as harsh as other leagues would be. They're just overall fun. I like when we scrimmage against our own team because we get to learn what our team's capable of, and we get to have a lot of fun doing that.
20 miles of light rail will move us from the East Valley to the West Valley, connecting people, campuses, and communities. And those 20 miles are serving as a new economic engine, a quiet, non-polluting economic engine, igniting investment and development that will be felt across the valley and throughout the state.
The light rail and First and Students Baptist Church have become great partners. One, in being good stewards of God's creation, but also enabling us to use it to reach people all over this valley. And it has brought new life and diversity to this community.
I prefer not to drive my car just because just sustainability and just environmentally friendly. I prefer to take the light rail when I can. I think it's very convenient. More people are going to move here. The freeways aren't going to get less crowded. They're just going to get more crowded. So you might as well start doing it now.
I've been dreaming about first place for more than 20 years. It was 25 years ago that our son, Matthew, was diagnosed with autism. And at that time, we were told to love, accept, and plan to institutionalize him. And I went to some of those places that adults with autism and other special needs lived. And I ran away as fast as I possibly could. And one of the most important criteria for our location and all locations is access to transportation. How do you get to that big world and that big life outside of the home where you live? And so our specific location here at 3rd Street in Catalina was because of the light rail and access to public transit.
Housing partners and apartments for staff and students and faculty can all be along the light rail. So it gives us a backbone to build and conceptualize around. My hope is that light rail, as it moves forward, becomes expanded, that it continues to weave around and connect different communities, that it becomes linked with other modal forms of transportation, that there are on-demand driver services or autonomous vehicle services that are then connected to light rail. You know, you could in theory get off at a light rail station and then there might be an autonomous vehicle to take you somewhere else. All of those things then allow from that backbone, you know, a very significant transportation infrastructure to be expanded, deployed, modernized, all those things.
Congratulations, happy birthday, light rail.
Congratulations to the light rail for your 10th anniversary.
Congratulations, Valley Metro Rail, for the last 10 years.
Light rail, 10 years old, I mean, man, you're almost getting ready to go to middle school.
We'll be celebrating 50 years from now.
The Arizona Department of Revenue has located to the City of Mesa Customer Service Center at 55 North Center Street. Business owners can now stop by to pay their taxes, apply for new licenses, and have general transaction privilege tax questions answered. Hours of operation are from Monday through Thursday, 7 a.m. to 6 p.m., and Friday from 8 a.m. to noon. Stop by and visit us at 55 North Center Street in downtown Mesa, or online at aztaxes.gov. Nearly 100 high school students participated in Hacktivate Mesa this past January. Teams analyzed data provided by Mesa's open data system to tackle community issues such as public safety, recycling, and homelessness. Some of the ideas generated are being implemented, and past sponsors are eager to see the results.
I think it really helps us learn more about the community. You know, we work directly with the city and the police department, but this involves the citizens, and so it was really nice to see the young kids looking into data and maybe finding a career path out of participating in an event like this.
Well, this allows us to see that we are more than what we're told we are, because a lot of times you're like, oh, well, you're a teenager. You are not going to do anything right now. You're not old enough. You can't do this yet. And we can. We can make such a big difference in our community because we have a newer perspective than what's been shown and the current climate.
This is a great partnership between the city and the schools and the business community that brings together some really talented, smart young people in our community and asks them to use the data that the city has accumulated to help us make good decisions. Because the outcome from these problem solvers that are working on this is really quite valuable and gets incorporated into what we do as a community. So I hope the business community will gather around and help the city and the schools to make Hacktivate Mesa a great program and another huge success this year.
Past winners were from Mesa and Red Mountain High School. The best overall analysis was on the topic of health and safety in our community from the Red Mountain STEM team. To learn more about this program or to get involved, visit hacktivatemesa.org or call 480-644-2495.
To help stop the spread of respiratory diseases like the coronavirus, please avoid contact with people who are sick. Cover your cough or sneeze with a tissue, then throw it away. Avoid touching your eyes, nose, and mouth. Clean and disinfect frequently touched objects and surfaces. Stay at home when you are sick, except to get medical care. Wash your hands often with soap and water for at least 20 seconds. For more information, visit cdc.gov/COVID-19.
Untrimmed landscaping is inconvenient and a hazard for you and large service vehicles. Overgrown trees make it difficult for city vehicles to get their job done. All vegetation near a roadway should be trimmed back to 14 feet over a street and 8 feet over sidewalks. Please help keep our roadways clear by trimming all trees and shrubs. For more information, please call 480-644-2160.
This is one of the most state-of-the-art aviation projects that are actually being built in the United States right now because of what we're putting into the building based on the solar, batteries, and the technology. 6 buildings, 90,000 square feet, 300,000 square feet of hangar space. But the one thing that sets this project apart is the fact that it's so energy efficient.
What a special place this dirt is that we're on right now, and the role that aviation technology has always had in this location. This has always been where cutting edge technology was happening, and if you needed to know what is the latest and greatest thing, you came to Falcon Field. And on this corner is where the next chapter of this very storied airport is going to take place, and where we're going to take advantage of all that wonderful technology.
We are so proud to have this new facility here, these new hangars, and we are excited. We can hardly wait until we do have tenants taking over the hangar spaces. So thank you so much.
Falcon Field Airport includes a variety of aviation facilities and services. It encompasses 784 acres, 2 runways of 5,100 and 3,800 feet, 2 helipads, more than 400 city-owned hangars, and numerous privately owned hangar facilities. Nearly 100 businesses on Falcon Field provide more than 1,000 jobs. The City of Mesa-owned airport has a professional staff, along with a friendly FAA-operated air traffic control tower, who ensure the facility and airspace are safely and efficiently managed. Whether you are looking to build an aircraft from the ground up, or if you need aircraft maintenance, inspections, avionics, interiors, or paint, there is a rich network of aviation businesses on Falcon Field and in the surrounding 7,000-acre Falcon Business District to serve your aviation needs.
Mesa Forensic Services Firearms Unit. This is an overview of what this unit can do. Function testing. Does the gun work as designed? Bullet cartridge case examinations using a comparative microscope. Did they come from the same gun? Serial number restoration. Is a serial number obliterated? We may be able to get that back. Distance determination. How far was the muzzle of the gun from the target when it was fired? NIBIN. Preliminary entry of fired casings for possible leads to other scenes. Tool marks, scratches or cuts made on one object by another object. Function testing. This evaluation determines if a firearm functions in a safe and normal manner. This is an in-depth examination and will include such things as trigger pull, safety function, mechanical issues, etc. Bullet cartridge case examinations. Components collected from shooting scenes such as fired cartridge cases and fired bullets can be compared to each other and to collected firearms to determine a common source. Answering the question, were these bullets or cases fired from this gun? Or were these bullets or cases fired from one gun or multiple guns? Serial number restoration. The unit has a number of tools and methods for restoring serial numbers. Distance determination. We have the physical and chemical means to determine how far away the muzzle of a firearm was from the target. It is also possible to use a shotgun spread pattern to determine distance in situations where a shotgun was used. NIBIN test fire and NIBIN entry. This is a screening tool in which fired cartridge cases, both test fired and from the scene, are entered into a database and are searched against other cartridge cases previously entered from other agencies. Tool marks. Anywhere a tool was used and left a mark, this method can be used. We can compare the marks left by a tool to the tool itself for a common source.
So what's going on here today is we've invited City of Mesa residents and SRP customers to come join us for an electric vehicle expo. We think that there's a lot of people who maybe don't understand that an electric vehicle is just like a regular car. It has the same acceleration, it has a smooth ride. The cost of electricity to charge a car is much less. But we want to increase the general awareness of our customers of electric vehicles, especially the models that are available.
Salt River Project facilitated this event at Red Mountain Park, and there's owners of all of the electric vehicles on the market are here.
How many people have an opportunity to drive an electrical vehicle? We are here in the city of Mesa, giving our community a chance to take advantage of this great experience.
99% of Mesa are SRP customers, so the city of Mesa and SRP work together every day, on a variety of issues. So we have enjoy a very strong relationship and partnership with Salt River Project.
I had the opportunity to drive this Jaguar electric vehicle. I find these totally amazing technology and the way they're built. Our partnership with SRP and the City of Mesa is important. Not only we collaborate on many different things, but I see tons of people here that are enjoying the opportunity to look at these vehicles that are important. And this was just a dream, and now it's a reality.
Hi, I'm Lori, and I'm a mentor with the Mesa K Ready program. Our program helps you get your 4-year-old kindergarten ready. We look forward to working with you. We have lots of different resources to assist you, from use of a tablet with interactive educational games to open labs where your child can work on their skills necessary to start kindergarten. We look forward to working with you and your whole family in this next step in your education process.
Hi everyone, Ranger Burton here with the City of Mesa Park Rangers. I'm going to go over a few how-tos, do's and don'ts within the City of Mesa in regards to our community fishing waters. During fishing, you want to make sure you don't get in this water. Don't jump in. No swimming is allowed. Tend to your own poles. You are allowed 2 poles per angler. Again, we want to make sure that we don't feed the wildlife and you cast within a proper distance of other people. So after we're done fishing, let's make sure to clean up after ourselves. Let's make sure to use all of the trash cans. We do utilize these black tubes that help with collecting all of your unwanted tangled line, lures, hooks. You can utilize those to dispose of those. Lastly, if we see any suspicious activity around the lakes, we want to go ahead and contact Arizona Game and Fish and report any suspicious activity. Remember guys, come out, have fun, enjoy our waters, be safe.
Back on this is really a transformational day. We broke ground today for the ASU facility that's going to be in downtown Mesa. We are so excited that ASU is coming. It's going to bring a lot of great, smart, hardworking people to our downtown on a daily basis. Can't be more excited though about the program specifically that they're bringing to Mesa. This is augmented reality, virtual reality, 3D design, the type of technology that every business in the world needs more of. So it's going to bring a lot of much needed attention, a lot of much needed activity and people to our downtown. And the economic benefits of this though are going to be felt throughout Mesa and really throughout the valley.
We've been working so long and so hard to make downtown really come together, and there's been so many parts that have been coming together. And I feel like this is the pinnacle, the tipping point, where from here on out we'll have great momentum and everything will be falling in place, and it'll be the downtown we've been wanting forever.
These facilities then will allow us to engage thousands of learners creating and learning in the digital space, in digital time, digital creativity. So the why now is we need to get ahead of the game in the new economy, not behind the game. This allows us to take a leapfrog. And why Mesa? Mesa is one of the 50 largest cities in the country. It's a place with immense talent, immense diversity, immense energy, and we're here trying to help facilitate all of that.
There will be a buzz here that you don't find in other cities. We're not a place for just restaurants. We're not a place just to go to school or just to live. We're a whole creative economy, and we're a community with a lot of heart.
My mother used to say a long time ago, whenever there would be any catastrophe that was on the air, she would say, always look for the helpers. Because if you look for the helpers, you'll know that there's hope.
Play ball is great for both experienced kids or first-timers wanting to try new sports. Focuses on enjoyment and balance in sports. The goals are learning new skills, gaining self-confidence, and building a lifelong love of physical activity.
During my time with the City of Mesa, the positive coaching program has really led us to have good practices and great games. And the kids respect each other, the kids have a great time, and the coaches know how to lead the kids and have a good time and have a positive experience.
After my first season, I got hooked.
As the sport evolves, so do the kids, and I really like to see them from first practice to last game kind of grow.
It's fun to watch them learn and grow from what you're teaching and just watch their progress. The culture and environment at the games are awesome. Everyone's very positive and cheering each other on.
It creates for a real good environment because we gotta know that we're here for the kids.
Being a coach in City of Mesa is an incredible opportunity because not only do they offer us top-of-the-line practice facilities,
they provide training for the refs, training for the coach.
To give us all the resources we need and at any time to call and to talk with them if we're struggling with a parent, if we're struggling with an idea.
That helps me become a better coach, hopefully teach these kids the game the right way.
Those kids, maybe 20 years from now, they're gonna come back and coach. They're gonna be positive influences in the community. And the wins really didn't matter. It's being positive and providing them structure as they pick a lifetime sport.
You wouldn't treat your home like this. But when you throw junk out of your car, that's exactly what you're doing. Arizona is our home. Love it. Don't trash it. Learn what you can do to help at don'ttrasharizona.com.
Because of you, I feel not alone in this world. And you let me know that it only takes one person to make you feel wanted.
How many times have you purchased something in bulk or in a larger multi-pack based on the per unit cost, but in the end you realize you bought way too much, and that value that you were expecting may no longer exist, and now you have a lot of leftover material? That's where the concept of right buying comes in. Basically, that means buying just the right amount of product that you need for your project. This is especially important when it comes to household hazardous materials such as paint, pesticides, tile grout, sealers, and any other hazardous items you may find in your home. By buying just the right amount of product that you need, you don't have to worry about what to do with any leftover material. It's good for the planet and for your wallet. For more information about right buying, Visit mesarecycles.org.
What do you do if somebody has a heart attack? You have to call 911 immediately. While you wait, you need to start hands-only CPR. Make sure he's on a hard, flat surface. Check for breathing. He's not breathing. Find the center of his chest. Put the heel of one hand on the center of the chest. Interlace your fingers. Lock your elbows. Push down hard and fast. Make sure you push down at least 2 inches.
Hello, Mesa Fire and Medical.
Right here! The Mesa Fire and Medical Department's goal is to be at your door in 4 minutes or less to help with your medical emergency.
IV established, epi on board.
Shocking, I'm clear, everybody clear. 1, 2, 3, shocking now.
Check the rhythm. Patient has a normal sinus rhythm. We're going to take him to the hospital. He's going to be okay.
Your Mesa Fire and Medical Department paramedics are here for your emergency.
I grew up in Mesa and I learned to swim at Roundeville Pool. When I first walked into the tunnel, I noticed that as you walk down the ramp, it gets cooler. And so it kind of triggered the thought in me that it could be like a swimming pool. On one end of the tunnel, you come in from this very manicured, beautiful urban park area, and at the other side, you go out into sort of a wild area, the Rio Salado area. I want people to sort of take away the contrast between those two things. When it's public art, my art always involves the site and the area and the people that live or work around the area. So in this particular piece, I was able to use some of the birds and some of the foliage that grows around the area. And I hope people in all of my work take away the idea that we do live in an area where we have beautiful nature, different kinds all around us. To do something in Mesa where I grew up, and also to do something with paint in an exterior situation, which is something that I hadn't done in public art yet. For an exterior piece that it has the protection in the tunnel from sun, also that it has sort of a surrounding effect. It can be on both sides of you, and for me that was unusual. But also, I like that it's part of a transit situation, so it involves pedestrians, bicyclists, skateboarders. The design process probably took about, I would say, 2 weeks as I worked on it on the computer and came to the site to look at the site and try to figure it out. But the painting and the tile work has taken about 2 months. Just the idea that nature's all around us and that it's an important part of what makes it a good place to live.
Our Mesa Express Library, during the monsoon season, the landlord was working on the roof. In the interim, they had covered the roof with a tarp, and during the monsoons, one evening the tarp blew off, and the rain that followed basically drenched our Express Library. And that resulted in a lot of damage to our book section, especially the children's book section.
Our club wanted to do something to help, And Councilman Thompson had, put out a request on his social media and said, you know, what had happened, and most of the children's section was damaged, and if there was anything anybody could do. So our board discussed it, and we thought this would be a great project over the next few months, would be to collect books for the kids section. So that's why we're here today, to bring the books.
The Express Library closed that day. We cleaned everything out. It is still closed. We are looking to relocate it and reopen as soon as we can, but it probably will still be a while because in addition to finding a new location, we also need to rebuild the collection, and donations like this are a fantastic start. We really appreciate how the community has come together and supported us. We tend to think of ourselves as giving to the community, and it's really amazing when the community gives back to us.
Before heading out for some fun at one of Mesa's many playgrounds, remember these 5 simple tips to play it safe. Remain within sight and sound of your children playing. Choose a playground with age-appropriate equipment for your child. Be mindful of weather conditions, as equipment may be slippery from the rain or hot from the sun. Plus, don't forget the sunscreen. Always play during park hours. While playing, wear appropriate footwear. The City of Mesa offers a wide variety of parks and playgrounds for all ages and abilities. Have fun and play it safe.
So you look at the fires 30 or 40 years ago, and it used to be 20 minutes from the time the fire started to the time you needed to exit your house. Now they're saying with the modern furnishings that it's about 4 minutes. The biggest danger of a house fire is going to be the smoke from the fire. And when you look at today's furniture, it's pretty much all made from plastics. And that smoke will contain things like toluene, hydrogen cyanide, and different poisons.
We've noticed the changes in our careers to where it's very important that homeowners prepare ahead of time for when the worst thing that could happen. Because these fires, they ignite quicker and they get hotter faster.
Number one is going to be prevention before an escape plan. So no unattended cooking fires, no careless disposal of smoking objects like cigarettes, candles, stuff like that. No overloading electrical outlets, making sure they have smoke detectors in place that are checked monthly with the batteries replaced annually.
And you need to work with your family and your loved ones to have a plan. If that worst case scenario happens where you have a fire in your house, what are you going to do? It's very important to be prepared ahead of time, to know how you're going to get out of the house, know how to check the door, see if it's hot, crawl out, because the lower you are, the cleaner the air is going to be, because heat and with fire, the smoke rises. So you want to stay as low as possible, and then you want to get outside of the house and go to a meeting place so you know where everybody's going to be, and once you're out, you stay out, and then you call 911.
To protect your personal belongings, we recommend that you store passports, birth certificates, put them in a plastic Ziploc bag, and then put them in a fireproof safe. It's a tedious process, but there are online resources. You can do your own homework. You can check with your insurance company, because just like we see here, things are not going to always survive a fire, and so you can only cover so many bases.
Founded Jaunt because my background is exclusively in medical device startups. I love the intersection of great products and customer needs. And so we focus exclusively on doing market research, understanding the market, taking that data, and then formulating a perfect product market fit. I knew about LaunchPoint previously, back when it was out by Gateway. I was working out of my house at the time and needed some quieter space to work. Came down here and talked with the folks here, and seemed like a great fit. So I've been here almost a year now. Yeah, it's been really good. You know, it's a great, affordable, quiet, clean, fast internet location to work and get our job done. And it's been great. So we've been able to expand over the last year. So we have 3 full-time employees instead of 1 now, and hope to continue that trend.